from now here on the channel with Fox and Friends, we're going to have a great lineup of guests. He is running for governor of the great state of Florida. Representative Ron DeSantis is going to be dropping by. We're going to talk a little bit about the grilling. Bruce Ohr is going to get up on the Hill. Senator Lindsey Graham is going to talk about his friend, the now late Senator John McCain. Jim Brown is going to be reacting to some comments from an ESPN host regarding what Tiger Woods said a couple of days ago. Larry Kudlow on NAFTA, and Dana Loesch was threatened on Twitter that her children would be killed, and Twitter said, you know what, that's okay. What's that about? We're going to talk to Dana about that and the comments from Twitter before they finally took the common sense. So we got a busy 3 hours. Rob Schmitt kicking off 11 minutes from right now, right here on the channel.
It sounds like an action-packed show, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sealing the deal. Iran and Syria meeting face-to-face, signing an agreement to rebuild Syria's military. The announcement coming as President Trump toughens his stance on Iran's support for Bashar al-Assad's government. So what does this mean for the U.S. and, of course, our allies in the region, specifically Israel? Here now is former State Department press officer Morgan Ortagus. Morgan, thanks for coming on this morning. Good morning to you. Obviously, this creates some unease here in the United States. You don't want these two countries buddying up, and I'm sure Iran has a lot of interest in Syria. What did you take from this?
Well, Rob, I'm going to try to take one of the most complicated international relations issues out there right now and talk about it over the next 60 seconds. Yeah. But let's just put it this way. So anyone who's been paying attention to Syria for the past 7 years knows that Iran has been an influence there during the civil war. And what Iran uses Syria for is a base for all of their other illicit activity throughout the region, right? So they're destabilizing Yemen near Saudi Arabia and the Houthis. Yep. They're funding Hezbollah. They are using Syria as a way to get closer to Israel and sort of antagonize Israel. Sure. So this cooperation, although it's been going on for quite some time, but this meeting is bad for Israel, it's bad for the U.S., and it's bad for our Sunni allies in the region. And I think what we need to be looking to, which I'm most concerned about, which I believe Ambassador Bolton said to the Russians last week when he met with them, is that there should be no more chemical attacks. And there's a lot of concern right now out there in the national security community, those of us who watch this, that the Iranians or Russians will try some sort of chemical attack in Syria, in northwest Syria, whereas this is the last hold of occupation control. Last control of the rebels. Of the rebels,
yeah. And I find it hilarious that Iran goes to the UN and complains about these sanctions and tries to sue the U.S. and the UN to try and get these sanctions and removed, and then they behave like this. I mean, and to me, how does the EU continue to support this agreement? Their behavior is ridiculous, and they show no sign of stopping or improving.
You're absolutely right, Robin. What I would say is that the administration has put forward a really comprehensive strategy to counter Iran in the region, in the Middle East. But that strategy is meaningless if we just let Syria go. So while I understand the compulsion to not want to have a military presence in Syria and in the Middle East, what happened in Iraq after President Obama came in office and got rid of our troops, right? Al-Qaeda, ISIS formed, came up after that. And so if we do the same thing in Syria, if we allow them to attack and use chemical weapons again, and then we did last April, of course, counter them, and we did, return fire whenever they did that.
In, right?
But if we do that, if we just leave, we'll be repeating the same mistakes that the Obama administration made. Right. So I think in order to have and implement this incredibly robust countering Iran strategy that this administration has put forward, we're going to have to continue to pay close attention to what happens in Syria. I could probably go on for another 10 minutes about Russian influence there of the Iranians and what's going on.
And that's what I just want to ask. I mean, what Russia does is also a problem, and you don't want Russia linking up with Iran. And then you also have Turkey, which has been a NATO ally and has been a friend of the United States for many years, kind of going down this path towards this group, too. And it's almost like you could kind of see this evil alliance forming between these four countries. And with Russia there, it's a powerful alliance.
It is, but I will say that the Russian propaganda is very powerful. I don't think that they control the Iranians in Syria as much as they'd like the rest of the world, to think that they do. Right. Remember, the Russians, the economy is not fantastic, and they are losing a ton of money. We've been sort of bleeding them dry in Syria, actually. We're sanctioning them. We're sanctioning the Iranians. So I think that, the Russians love their influence to be overblown and overplayed, whether it's here or whether it's in Syria. There's certainly a factor. But again, I think that main thing to watch for is, is there some sort of chemical weapons attack by the Assad regime? The minute that Bolton spoke to the Russians about it last week, the Russians started propaganda campaigns saying that the U.S. and the U.K. were going to, create a fake chemical attack. So the propaganda, of course, is out there in the Middle East. But, the point being is that this is a really bad part of the world. I often talk about on Fox and Friends about how we need to be looking to China and how we need to think about that as the real great threat. But saying that, we can walk and chew gum, right? We can pay attention to these threats in the Middle East.
There's a lot of complicated problems that need to be solved. There certainly are.
You just need to give me the whole hour to talk about it.
We'll try to do that next time. Morgan, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Good to see you.
All right, Julian, over to you.
All right, good stuff, guys. It turns out all those calls to abolish ICE are coming from a vocal minority.
It is.
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Get rid of it, start over, reimagine it. We can replace it, and we can replace it with a humane agency.
A new Associated Press poll finding only 24% of Americans actually support the movement. 41% oppose it. The AP says those numbers are nearly identical when polled along party lines, meaning only about a quarter of all Democrats are actually in favor of abolishing ICE. Democrats' inboxes flooded with the same message as party leaders ask for cash. In a fundraising email, Senator Elizabeth Warren says President Trump has, quote, ripped children from their mama's arms at our border. Meantime, in another fundraising email, Hillary Clinton says President Trump, quote, locks kids in cages. According to the Homeland Security, nearly 2,000 children have been reunited with their parents since the July deadline. Some parents have been found to be unsuitable after failing background checks. 6 minutes until the top of the hour. If the world was ending, who would you save? Parents outraged that their kids were asked that question on a homework assignment. A safe space for people who want to get high, the proposal that's fueling flames when we come back.